last day to deposit your old notes to the bank. Prime Minister Modi's 50-day demonetisation deadline ends later tonight. CNN News 18's Anuradha Sen-Gupta caught up with SBI chief Arundhati Bhattacharya to take stock of when the situation will normalize.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say the banking system as a whole has fared in terms of coping with demonetisation, which you've described as an exercise without a roadmap?
Well, I would probably give it a 7 because again, as you understand, there was no roadmap, and therefore there were a lot of things that you had to sort of, improvise, think on your feet. I think one good thing that has come of this is that most of my branch managers have got practical lessons in management, which probably they wouldn't have got otherwise.
7 on 10. Ms. Bhattacharya, the lack of currency supply has been the biggest hold-up in remonetization or replacing the currency notes that have been sucked out in terms of the banned 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. What would 50 days on, what would you say is the gap that you still feel is there in the system?
Now, the problem that has happened is that when the first demonetization, when the first currency started coming in, the idea was probably that we needed to put in 2,000 so as to restore value in the hands of the people and therefore restore their confidence, which is why 2,000 came in. 2,000 is a perfect store of value. But
not easy to
exactly
exchange.
So 2,000 is not a good mode of exchange. As a result, what has happened is the feeling of constraint that people had, the difficulties they were facing, even though they got the 2,000, they weren't able to transact that freely, and therefore the feeling of discomfort didn't go away as it should have had they got that means of transacting. So that is one of the reasons, in fact, in the last few days we have found in many places that ATMs actually have 2,000, but nobody is transacting because nobody wants the 2,000.
Right. But 50 days later, would you say the shortfall in percentage terms, could you be able to give us a sense of, for SBI?
It's very difficult to give you the shortfall in percentage terms, but one thing is definitely there. Today, for instance, out of the amount that is getting deposited back in the bank, about 70% is legal tender, that's new currency. That means that new currency has begun to circulate. So the more and more this new currency gets into circulation, there will be less constraint faced by the people at large. I think we are getting there, and we are getting there quite rapidly, especially now that 500 notes have started coming in bulk. And you will see, in fact, as the new year unfolds, that we are actually getting more 500s now than 2000s.
You mentioned somewhere February, we should look till about February.
I think by then it should be
normal?
Totally normal.
Totally
yes.
normal.
Totally normal, I think by end February we should be totally normal. That's my view. And I think I will be proved right in that, because the number of 500s that are coming in now, as I told you, is already exceeding 2,000. So most of the places in the ATMs, at least, we are filling up the 500s. And going forward, we will be giving it from the counters as well. And as soon as that comes in, you will find more transactions happening. The ease of transacting will come in. And then people will begin to get back a sense of comfort.
Okay, things should